Humanity is about to build its first home completely beyond Earth. This is not a science fiction fantasy, but a concrete plan for our future survival. Designing the first human civilization in space presents challenges that will test our technology and our spirit. By the end of this exploration, you will understand exactly how we can construct a society that thrives in the void. We will uncover the secrets of self-sustaining habitats and the new forms of culture that could emerge among the stars. What part of building a world from scratch captures your imagination the most? A gleaming, rotating city drifts in the silent void, a perfect ring of light against the endless dark. This is the vision of our first true home beyond Earth, a symbol of human ingenuity cast against the stars. But this is far more than a simple outpost or a research station. The goal is to build a fully autonomous civilization, a society capable of growing, evolving, and creating its own unique culture for generations. Leading space settlement researcher Dr. Al Globus stresses that these habitats must be designed for permanence from the very beginning. This requires a fundamental shift in our thinking. We are not planning to just survive in space. We are planning to live there, to thrive. This means engineering environments that support every facet of the human experience. It is about creating a place where people can fall in love, raise families, pursue careers, and enjoy art, all within a carefully constructed world. The blueprint for such a place already exists in concepts like the O'Neill cylinder. These massive structures, miles long and rotating to create artificial gravity, are designed to feel like a slice of Earth, complete with open land, bodies of water, and a simulated sky. Inside, closed-loop ecological systems would recycle every drop of water and every molecule of air, creating a self-sustaining biosphere. The infrastructure must be scalable, allowing the city to expand as its population grows, eventually becoming a network of interconnected habitats. This leads to a profound question about identity. What does it mean to be human when your entire world is something your ancestors built? When the sky is a manufactured creation and the horizon curves upward? The answers will define our future, and they all begin with the physical structures we choose to build. These vast cylindrical worlds are built from materials that defy conventional engineering. Architects and orbital engineers envision shells of carbon composites and self-healing polymers, substances that can withstand the tremendous stresses of rotation and the constant threat of micrometeorite impacts. The outer hull is a layered fortress designed not only to block cosmic radiation, but to absorb and dissipate the energy of tiny, high-speed particles. This protective shell is the first and most critical line of defense, creating a safe envelope within which life can flourish. Inside this shield, the entire structure rotates, using centrifugal force to generate a stable, comfortable artificial gravity. This rotation is what allows rivers to flow downhill and trees to grow upward, creating a world that feels reassuringly familiar. Consider the Kalpana 1 design, a concept that prioritizes efficient, dense living for thousands of residents. Its interior landscape is carefully sculpted, with residential areas terraced into the curved walls, offering every home a view of the vast, open central space. This central valley is the heart of the habitat, containing parks, farms, and bodies of water under a simulated sky. The layout is a masterclass in community planning, encouraging interaction while providing private sanctuaries. How do we design these living spaces to prevent claustrophobia and foster a sense of openness? The answer lies in this clever manipulation of perspective. By ensuring sightlines extend for miles across the interior, and by using reflected light to create a bright, sky-like dome, the design tricks the human brain into perceiving boundless space. It is an architectural illusion of freedom, proving that a world can feel expansive even when it is entirely enclosed. Every element, from the placement of a neighborhood to the curve of a path, is intended to nurture both social connection and individual well-being. The ultimate success of this architectural marvel, however, depends entirely on the invisible, silent networks that will keep it breathing. This silent, intricate web of machinery and biology is what keeps the entire habitat breathing. It is a closed-loop biosphere, a technological marvel that must perfectly replicate Earth's most essential natural cycles. Every single molecule of air and every drop of water is precious and must be endlessly reclaimed and reused. This is not just about recycling in the familiar sense. It is about creating a completely self-sustaining ecosystem that can function indefinitely, cut off from any outside resupply. Experts from NAS, a life sciences division, have pioneered the technologies that make this possible. Advanced hydroponic and aeroponic farms grow food without soil, using mist and nutrient-rich water, while transparent algae bioreactors work tirelessly, converting carbon dioxide from our breath back into fresh oxygen and even edible protein. Water reclamation is a multi-stage miracle. Through processes like vapor compression distillation, every possible source of water, from humidity in the air to wastewater, is purified to an exceptional standard, producing drinking water that is essentially perfect. Air revitalization depends on a careful balance of mechanical scrubbers and living, photosynthetic organisms that manage the delicate ratios of oxygen and carbon dioxide. Even human waste is not wasted. It becomes a resource processed through composting and microbial digestion to create fertilizer for the farms, closing the nutrient loop completely. The ambitious Biosphere 2 project here on Earth provided a powerful case study in the immense difficulty of this balance. That sealed environment faced unexpected challenges, from fluctuating oxygen levels to conflicts within its miniature ecosystems, teaching us invaluable lessons about the complexity of creating a stable, isolated world. This leads to a critical question of survival. What happens if a single component in this delicate, interconnected web fails? Redundancy is not just an engineering feature. It is the foundation of life itself in this environment. Multiple backup systems for air, water, and food production are mandatory, each capable of taking over seamlessly in the event of a failure. This absolute reliance on flawless, continuous technology underscores one non-negotiable requirement. The entire civilization depends on a massive, uninterrupted, and robust supply of energy to power everything, from the air circulators to the water purifiers. Without it, the entire intricate dance of life would falter. Massive solar arrays, their surfaces glinting like silver seas, would form the primary power plants for this new world. In the vacuum of space, freed from the filtering effects of Earth's atmosphere, sunlight is a constant and immensely powerful stream of pure energy. The requirements for an off-world civilization are staggering, demanding enough electricity to run every life support system, every water purifier, every farm, and every home simultaneously around the clock. Leading energy scientists point to the incredible efficiency of solar panels in this environment, where they can generate power nearly 24/7, interrupted only by brief periods in a habitat's shadow. Vast kilometers-wide collectors would be deployed, their orientation constantly adjusted to face the sun, harvesting terawatts of clean, silent power. But the sun is not always directly available to every part of a rotating station, which raises the critical question of continuity. How do we ensure a constant and fail-safe energy supply that can support a growing population through every cycle of its artificial day and night? The answer lies in a combination of relentless collection and ingenious storage. Surplus energy generated during peak sunlight hours would be stored in advanced systems, perhaps using immense flywheels that spin in frictionless magnetic bearings, or in next-generation batteries with unprecedented capacity. This stored power would then be fed into an internal grid, a robust network distributing energy to every corner of the habitat, ensuring that the lights never flicker and the air never grows still. For even greater capacity, concepts like the SPS Alpha project envision fleets of solar-power satellites in high orbit, capable of beaming vast quantities of energy to receiving stations on the habitat or even back to Earth. In the longer term, more advanced solutions like compact nuclear fusion reactors could provide a dense, independent power source, freeing the civilization from reliance on a single star. This foundational abundance of energy is what unlocks the next great frontier, enabling the colony to move beyond mere survival. It empowers the creation of a truly self-sufficient economy, one that can manufacture what it needs and build its own future without waiting for supplies from a distant Earth. This self-sufficient economy would function on a principle far more tangible than paper money. The true currency of an off-world civilization is the very substance of life and industry: water purified from cometary ice, oxygen harvested from lunar regolith, and high-purity metals forged in orbital factories. True independence from Earth means generating wealth entirely through in-situ activities, creating a closed-loop system of production and consumption. The initial economic engine will likely be resource extraction, with fleets of automated spacecraft mining water and precious metals from nearby asteroids. This raw material forms the bedrock of everything that follows, but the most profound economic value will be created by manufacturing in the unique environment of space itself. Imagine factories producing perfect ball bearings in zero gravity, or growing flawless pharmaceutical crystals that are impossible to create on Earth. These microgravity-specific industries could become the colony's primary exports, creating a flow of high-value goods back to Earth or to other space-based communities. Early economic models might resemble the highly organized resource credit systems used in remote Antarctic research stations, where every item has a clear cost in terms of its import and life cycle. Over time, as the population and its capabilities grow, this resource-based economy would naturally evolve. Space economists suggest a gradual shift toward a knowledge-based economy, one that trades in intellectual property, advanced software, and unique scientific data. What new forms of art or entertainment might be born in a world where gravity is a variable, not a constant? The backbone of this entire economic structure is automation. The vast majority of mining, manufacturing, and even farming will be managed by sophisticated robotics and artificial intelligence systems. This raises fundamental questions about the nature of work and human purpose in a society where manual labor is largely obsolete. How does a community define value and contribution when the traditional link between work and survival is transformed? The answers will shape the social contracts and governance models needed to maintain a stable, just, and prosperous society for generations to come. A holographic town square flickers to life, its participants debating the very laws that will shape their world. This is the birthplace of off-world governance, a system built not on centuries of tradition but on deliberate, forward-looking design. The immense distance from Earth means these communities cannot afford political instability. They must create legal and social frameworks that are resilient, fair, and capable of evolving with them. Leading political theorists suggest that starting with a blank slate, offers a rare opportunity to avoid the entrenched problems of Earth-bound nations. We might see the rise of direct digital democracies, where every citizen can vote on major issues through secure networks, or governance by councils selected for their proven expertise and wisdom. The core challenge is to design a system that protects the rights of the individual while ensuring the collective survival of the entire habitat. A foundational constitution would need to address questions unique to life in space. How are vital resources like air, water, and energy allocated fairly? What safety regulations are non-negotiable in an environment where a single hull breach is a threat to all? The existing Outer Space Treaty of 1967 establishes that no nation can claim sovereignty over celestial bodies, but it says little about the complex issue of private property or individual rights within a man-made structure. New agreements will be essential, defining everything from personal living quarters to the usage rights for agricultural land inside the cylinder. How does a society prevent power from accumulating in the hands of a few, especially when control over life support systems could equate to control over the population? The answer lies in building transparency and robust checks and balances directly into the governing code from day one. This requires clear, accessible conflict resolution mechanisms, perhaps community-led mediation for minor disputes, and a transparent judicial panel for more serious matters. The stability fostered by this thoughtful governance provides the fertile ground in which something even more profound can take root. It allows for the organic development of a unique culture, a new human identity forged entirely among the stars. The architecture of a space habitat must do more than shelter the body. It must nurture the human spirit, designing neighborhoods not as collections of private units, but as interconnected webs of community life. Picture residential blocks arranged around vibrant communal gardens, where residents share the work and reward of tending crops, and virtual reality parks offer portals to Earth's forests and beaches, providing vital psychological respite from the entirely manufactured world. These are not mere amenities. They are essential tools for social cohesion in an environment of profound isolation. Psychologists who study teams in extreme environments, from Antarctic research stations to long-duration submarine missions, identify a common need for a shared, compelling purpose. Without it, minor irritations can escalate into damaging group conflicts. The design of the habitat must therefore actively foster connection through shared recreational activities, from team sports in low-gravity gymnasiums to community-wide artistic projects. Accessible, integrated mental health support becomes as fundamental as the air filtration system, a routine part of life that maintains the community's overall well-being. Family structures may evolve in this new context, with extended households or close-knit chosen families becoming more common to share the responsibilities of daily life and child rearing. The education system for the first space-born generation would be revolutionary, blending advanced digital tutors with hands-on learning in the habitat's own ecosystems. Children would learn physics by observing the station's rotation, biology by working in the aeroponic farms, and history by helping to archive the cultural data of Earth. This curriculum would also include a new subject, one unique to their experience, focusing on the principles of maintaining a closed world and the ethics of their future responsibilities. Cultural life would be a rich tapestry, weaving Earth's diverse heritage with entirely new traditions. What holidays might they create? Perhaps an annual Founders' Day celebrating the habitat's first breath of air, or a festival of light to mark the passing of a long journey. The social protocols observed on the International Space Station, where shared meals and collective viewing of Earth sunrises are sacred for morale, offer a small-scale blueprint for these vital communal rituals. This carefully nurtured social health is the bedrock for another critical pillar of the civilization, a healthcare system that must function perfectly within the ultimate closed environment. A hospital wing in this new world is a place of profound contrasts, where advanced robotics work alongside deeply human care. The medical challenges of living permanently beyond Earth are unlike anything we have faced before, reshaping the very definition of human health. In the persistent microgravity of space, the human body undergoes a dramatic transformation. Without the constant pull of Earth, bones begin to shed calcium, leading to a measurable loss of density each month, while bodily fluids shift upward toward the chest and head. This can affect everything from vision to cardiovascular function, and it even appears to alter how our immune systems respond to threats. Leading researchers in space medicine, like those at NASA, a human research program, are developing a suite of countermeasures to combat these effects. These include rigorous daily exercise regimens using specialized equipment, pharmaceutical research aimed at protecting bone and muscle, and the potential for entire sections of a habitat to rotate at different speeds, creating zones of artificial gravity for therapeutic purposes. The medical technology required must be as compact and efficient as the habitat itself. We will see the development of highly advanced portable medical imaging devices, perhaps using ultrasound technology that can be guided by artificial intelligence to provide detailed diagnostics without the need for massive machines. For complex cases, telemedicine will provide a vital link, allowing physicians within the colony to consult in real time with specialists back on Earth, sharing data and surgical visualizations across the vast distance. The training for a space physician is therefore immensely broad, combining emergency medicine, radiology, and a deep understanding of space physiology. The decades of health monitoring conducted on astronauts aboard the International Space Station provide our foundational playbook. We have learned how to track vision changes, manage nutrient levels, and maintain psychological well-being over long periods of isolation. But what happens when a medical emergency strikes and there is no possibility of evacuation? A pandemic in a closed environment, or a serious trauma from an industrial accident, requires a healthcare system that is entirely self-reliant. Protocols for quarantine, advanced trauma life support, and even remote guided surgery become matters of collective survival. This robust, fail-safe approach to health is what allows a population not just to persist, but to truly thrive and look toward the future. It ensures that the first children born in this new civilization can grow up strong and healthy, ready to learn and inherit the world their ancestors built. A child sketches the trajectory for a supply drone while their classmate adjusts the nutrient flow in a vertical farm. This is not a future fantasy, but the foundational education for the first generation born beyond Earth. Their classroom is the entire habitat, a living laboratory where every system, from the oxygen recyclers to the rotational gravity, becomes a lesson in applied science and responsibility. Educational theorists designing these future systems propose a curriculum that seamlessly blends hard skills with deep wisdom. The fundamentals of science, technology, engineering, and mathematics are not abstract subjects but the essential language of daily survival and progress. Students would learn physics by calculating the station's spin rate, chemistry by testing water purity, and biology by managing the closed-loop aquaponics that feed their community. Yet this technical mastery is balanced with the arts, philosophy, and ethics, ensuring these young minds can grapple with the profound questions their existence poses. What does it mean to be a steward of an entire world when that world is one your ancestors built? augmented reality interfaces would transform any corridor into an immersive learning environment. A student could point a device at a section of the outer hull and see a schematic overlay of the radiation shielding, or watch a time-lapse simulation of the habitat's construction. This constant contextual learning fosters an intuitive understanding of their artificial ecosystem, but a critical part of their education would be looking back. Maintaining a deep, nuanced connection to Earth's history, ecology, and diverse cultures is vital. They would study terrestrial biomass not as a distant memory, but as the original blueprint for their own life support, understanding the complex balances of nature that their technology must replicate. This knowledge of Earth's past triumphs and hardships provides an essential ethical compass for building their own future. For those drawn to the technical trades, apprenticeship models would be integral. A teenager might spend their afternoons alongside a life support engineer, learning to calibrate atmospheric sensors, or with a roboticist programming maintenance drones. This creates a direct pipeline of skilled, experienced workers, ensuring the habitat systems are maintained by those who know them intimately. At the heart of this educational network could be the Orbital Academy, a center for advanced research and interdisciplinary learning that attracts the brightest minds from across the settlement. It would be a hub of innovation where students and mentors collaborate on the next great challenges, from improving crop yields to designing more efficient propulsion systems. The unique perspective of the space-born generation will be their greatest gift. Having never known a world with a natural horizon or an unmanaged atmosphere, their approach to problem-solving may be fundamentally different. They might conceive of structural designs that elegantly account for rotational forces in ways Earth-bound architects would never consider, or develop artistic expressions that play with the subtle variations in gravity and light. This educated, innovative populace becomes the engine of the civilization's next great leap, continually pushing the boundaries of what is possible and ensuring the society does not merely endure but evolves. The humming heart of this new civilization will be its research laboratories, floating in pristine microgravity. Here, scientists will pioneer materials and medicines with a purity and structure that are simply unattainable on Earth. The absence of gravity's constant pull eliminates the convection currents and sedimentation that often ruin delicate processes on our home planet. This allows for the creation of extraordinary substances, from flawless pharmaceutical crystals for next-generation drugs to incredibly strong and lightweight metal alloys perfect for further space construction. The potential extends to growing human tissue, crafting perfect organoids for medical testing without any ethical concerns. A standout example is ZBLN, a special type of optical fiber. On Earth, imperfections during its formation cause signal loss, but in the steady quiet of space, it can be drawn into a flawless strand, transmitting data with near-perfect clarity. These technological exports could become the colony's economic lifeblood, generating immense value and funding its continued expansion. But this entire cycle of innovation depends on a constant, local supply of raw materials. The metals, silicates, and volatile ices needed cannot be expensively imported from Earth. Instead, automated fleets will harvest these resources directly from the Moon and from the countless asteroids drifting nearby, creating a self-sustaining industrial chain that powers its own growth and fuels discoveries we can barely envision today. Robotic claws sink into the dark, carbon-rich surface of an asteroid, a silent ballet of extraction happening millions of miles from Earth. This is the practice of in-situ resource utilization, the art of living off the land in space. It transforms the void from a barren emptiness into a landscape rich with potential. The fundamental goal is to break our dependence on the immense cost of launching every single kilogram of material from Earth's deep gravity well. Instead of shipping water, we learn to mine it from the permanently shadowed craters at the lunar poles or from water-rich asteroids. Planetary scientists have mapped these frozen reservoirs with data from missions like the Lunar Reconnaissance Orbiter, confirming vast deposits of water ice hiding in eternal darkness. This water is not just for drinking. Through a process called electrolysis, it can be split into its core components, hydrogen and oxygen, the very ingredients for breathable air and powerful rocket fuel. This creates a cosmic filling station, enabling further travel and industry without needing supplies from home. The same robotic miners can extract valuable metals from these space rocks, iron and nickel for construction, and precious platinum group metals for advanced electronics. Back on the lunar surface, another process unfolds, using concentrated sunlight to bake the powdery regolith into solid, sturdy bricks for building structures. The technology chain for this is already in development. Autonomous prospector drones would first scout and map resource-rich sites. Then, mobile chemical processing plants would follow, heating the soil or ice to release the trapped volatiles. Finally, massive 3D printers would use the processed regolith as a feedstock, layer by layer, to construct landing pads, radiation shelters, and even entire habitats. This entire endeavor raises profound ethical questions. Who has the right to mine an asteroid or process lunar soil? The Outer Space Treaty states that no nation can claim sovereignty, but it is less clear on the ownership of extracted resources. The global community will need to establish new frameworks, ensuring that this new frontier is developed responsibly and for the benefit of all humanity, not just a privileged few. Mastering the skill of using what we find out there is the ultimate key to scalability. It provides the literal building blocks that allow a single habitat to grow into a network and eventually into a true civilization spanning the inner solar system. This vision of exponential growth hinges on our ability to travel between these new worlds efficiently, relying on a transportation network as reliable as the ones we have on Earth. These interconnected habitats would form a chain of human presence, each new cylinder adding another pearl to a cosmic string. This is the vision of scalability, a civilization designed from the start to grow. The first successful habitat provides the template, its modular design allowing for new rings and cylinders to be added using standardized, mass-produced components. This approach, championed by visionaries like Elon Musk, is about making life multi-planetary by beginning with self-sustaining orbits. The goal is not a single outpost, but a network, a society that expands its population and capabilities in carefully planned phases. The initial stage focuses on proving the closed-loop systems. The next phase sees the construction of specialized habitats, one dedicated to advanced manufacturing, another to large-scale agriculture, creating an interdependent orbital economy. Reusable spacecraft become the intercity shuttles of this new world, ferrying people and goods between habitats with the routine of a terrestrial airline. Managing this growth sustainably requires thoughtful demographic policies. How does a planned society encourage a stable population that neither stagnates nor outpaces its life support capacity? Incentives for family planning, coupled with cultural norms that value each new generation, would be essential for long-term balance. The ultimate expression of this expansion is the theoretical Dyson swarm, a vast collection of habitats encircling the Sun to capture its immense energy output. This would support a human population numbering in the trillions, a civilization of truly stellar proportions. Such unprecedented growth, however, demands careful foresight. How do we prevent competition for prime orbital space or access to asteroid resources from escalating into conflict? The answer lies in establishing transparent, fair governing frameworks from the very beginning, ensuring that expansion is a collaborative project, not a race. This planning for growth is inseparable from planning for resilience. Every new habitat must be equipped to handle potential crises, from a failure in its local power grid to a sudden impact event. Redundancy and self-sufficiency at every level are what transform a fragile chain of outposts into a durable, interstellar civilization, one ultimately capable of building the ships that will carry human life to other stars. A silent alarm pulses through the habitat's network, its signal not a sound but a shift in the very rhythm of the station. Automated blast shields slide into place over observation ports as the structure subtly reorients, presenting its most armored face to an incoming cloud of micrometeoroids. This is not a drill, but a demonstration of a civilization's immune system in action. The ability to manage crises is woven into the very design of an off-world home, where the margin for error is effectively zero. Safety engineers designing these systems emphasize that redundancy is not enough. We need systems with triple and even quadruple backups for critical functions like oxygen production and power distribution. Artificial intelligence acts as a constant guardian, monitoring millions of data points to predict failures long before they happen, from a slight pressure drop in a coolant line to an anomalous power draw in a solar array. Every resident undergoes rigorous and frequent emergency drills until the procedures for a pressure breach or a radiation storm become as instinctive as breathing. Central to this are dedicated radiation shelters, compartments shielded with water or regolith blocks, where everyone can retreat during a solar flare. Rapid response teams, trained for extravehicular repairs in the harshest conditions, stand ready to patch a hull breach from the outside. The legendary Apollo 13 mission serves as a timeless case study. It was not the original equipment that saved the crew, but their incredible capacity for improvisation alongside ground control, using only the materials on hand to fashion a solution. This spirit of adaptable problem-solving under extreme duress must be a core cultural value for any spacefaring society. This leads to a profound psychological question. How do you train the human mind to remain not just calm, but effectively cooperative when the world outside your window is actively trying to end you? Psychological resilience training becomes as fundamental as physical exercise, teaching techniques for managing stress, maintaining group cohesion, and making clear decisions when every second counts. Overcoming these existential threats forges a community of unparalleled resilience, a people who know they truly depend on one another for survival. Yet this relentless battle against the void forces us to confront a deeper ethical consideration. What is our responsibility in creating new human lives in an environment that demands such constant vigilance and carries such inherent risk? A quiet debate unfolds in a circular chamber, its participants weighing the very soul of their future society. The power to build a new world from scratch carries an immense ethical responsibility, one that extends far beyond engineering. At the forefront is the question of equity. Who gets to go if access to this new frontier is limited only to the immensely wealthy or to citizens of specific nations? We risk recreating the very inequalities and historical patterns of exclusion that have plagued Earth. Ethicists argue for a lottery system or a merit-based selection that prioritizes diverse skills and backgrounds, ensuring the founding population represents all of humanity, not just a privileged slice. This foundational fairness is crucial for building a society that views itself as a unified whole. Another profound consideration is planetary protection. As we establish ourselves on other worlds, like Mars or the moons of Jupiter, we carry with us trillions of microorganisms. We have a moral duty to avoid contaminating pristine environments where we might one day discover a second, independent genesis of life. The principle works both ways, as strict quarantine protocols would also be necessary to prevent any hypothetical extraterrestrial organisms from being introduced into our own closed habitats. Perhaps the most complex questions revolve around the beings we might create. What rights would be afforded to a highly advanced artificial intelligence that demonstrates self-awareness? Or to an animal whose intelligence has been uplifted through genetic intervention to assist with complex tasks? Philosophers suggest that the capacity for suffering and a demonstrable inner life might form the basis for a new legal status, moving beyond the simple binary of human and property. A tangible and deeply personal example is the debate surrounding human genetic adaptation. Some researchers propose that subtle, heritable edits to our DNA could better equip future generations for life in space, perhaps by offering greater resistance to cosmic radiation or the bone density loss associated with microgravity. Yet this path is fraught with ethical peril, evoking a difficult history and raising the specter of a new kind of class division between the modified and the natural. How do we navigate the line between therapy and enhancement? The precautionary principle advises us to move slowly, with abundant caution and inclusive, global dialogue, ensuring that such powerful tools are governed by wisdom, not just capability. The ultimate goal is to consciously design a civilization that learns from humanity's past hardships. It must be a society that champions justice, practices compassion, and holds the well-being of all its inhabitants, biological and synthetic, as its highest law. This thoughtful moral architecture is what will truly allow a space-borne culture to flourish for millennia, guiding its evolution long after the last founding member has passed. Music will find a new dimension when composers weave the resonant hum of life support and the gentle vibrations of station rotation into symphonic works performed in mid-air, the musicians themselves floating as part of the instrument. This is the kind of cultural evolution that defines a civilization, as the arts transform to reflect a new reality. Sociologists who study isolated communities note that cultural expression becomes a vital psychological anchor, a way for a society to process its unique experiences and forge a shared identity. In a world without an up or down, how will dancers move? Their art could become a breathtaking, three-dimensional ballet, a fluid expression of freedom from earthly constraints. Architecture will abandon the box, favoring flowing, organic forms that guide air and light in optimal paths, creating spaces that feel alive. Even fashion will adapt, with clothing designed for both safety and elegance in variable gravity, perhaps using smart fabrics that change color or pattern in response to the habitat's artificial circadian rhythms. Entirely new art forms will be born from this environment. Virtual reality will not be an escape, but a canvas, allowing artists to build immersive worlds that explore the philosophical questions of their existence. Storytellers will craft narratives unlike any from Earth, tales of generations, ships on epic voyages, or myths explaining the great, silent void outside their windows. These new legends, born from the stars, will become the foundational stories for their children. Sports will be revolutionized, with teams competing in spherical arenas, using all three dimensions in a fast-paced, acrobatic spectacle. This rich cultural tapestry, woven from both Earth's heritage and their own innovations, does more than entertain. It builds the unbreakable social bonds and shared sense of purpose that are the ultimate defense against the profound isolation of space. A serene meditation pod offers a quiet refuge, its large window framing a breathtaking view of our blue planet hanging in the void. This is not a luxury, but a critical piece of social infrastructure designed to combat the profound psychological stresses of living in a completely manufactured world. The human mind, evolved for open skies and changing seasons, faces unique challenges in an environment of constant artificial light, limited sensory input, and the inescapable proximity of the same community members day after day. Psychologists who study teams in extreme environments, from deep-sea submarines to Antarctic research stations, identify a common set of risks, including sensory monotony, social friction, and a deep longing for the natural world, a condition sometimes termed nature deficit disorder. To counter this, habitat design must intentionally incorporate elements that provide psychological comfort. Simulated natural landscapes are essential, with indoor parks featuring real grass, flowing water, and a variety of plants that change with a simulated seasonal cycle. The strategic placement of windows offering views of either the starry expanse or the distant Earth provides a vital cognitive anchor, a reminder of a larger context beyond the station's walls. The experiences of astronauts on the International Space Station offer a powerful blueprint. They meticulously schedule time to gaze at Earth, finding immense psychological restoration in watching weather patterns drift over continents and city lights glittering in the night. This practice of scheduled awe would be formalized in off-world life, with mandatory leisure time built into the societal structure to prevent burnout and encourage personal pursuits. Access to counseling and mental health support is treated with the same routine importance as a physical check-up, integrated seamlessly into community life to destigmatize it. Strong, intentionally nurtured support networks become the social fabric that holds the community together during times of hardship. How can we design to reduce anxiety and promote well-being? The answer lies in offering both vibrant communal spaces and guaranteed private sanctuaries, ensuring residents can find solitude when needed. The ultimate success of this civilization will be measured not just by the integrity of its hull, but by the psychological resilience of its people. This foundational well-being is what allows a society to confidently look beyond its own walls, to engage with the wider cosmos and consider the philosophical implications of its own existence. A holographic figure on Earth shares a meal with a family in a distant habitat, their conversation flowing without a hint of delay. This seamless connection is the lifeblood of an off-world civilization, a quantum internet that binds every outpost into a single, cohesive society. The vast emptiness of space presents a fundamental obstacle to communication, the speed of light itself. Even a simple message between Earth and Mars can take up to 20 minutes for a one-way trip, making a normal conversation utterly impossible. To overcome this, telecommunications experts are pioneering laser communication systems, which use focused beams of light to transmit enormous amounts of data across millions of miles with incredible efficiency. These laser links would be supplemented by a constellation of relay satellites positioned at strategic points throughout the inner solar system, creating a robust and redundant interplanetary network. The most revolutionary technology on the horizon is quantum entanglement, a phenomenon where two particles remain linked regardless of the distance between them. If perfected for communication, this could allow for what appears to be instantaneous transmission of information, creating a true real-time bridge across the void. The architecture of this network must be inherently secure. Cybersecurity is not just about protecting data here. It is about safeguarding the command systems for life support and habitat operations from malicious interference. The entire network would be encrypted with unbreakable quantum key distribution, ensuring that a hack could never threaten the air supply or structural integrity of a city in space. An expanded version of NASA's existing deep space network would likely form the backbone, its powerful antennas upgraded to handle not just scientific data, but the entire digital traffic of a civilization. This constant, high-fidelity connection to Earth presents a profound cultural paradox. On one hand, it allows the off-world community to draw endlessly from the cultural wellspring of its home planet, enjoying its entertainment, news, and artistic creations. On the other hand, how does a new society forge its own independent identity when it is perpetually bathed in the cultural output of another world? This constant influx could potentially slow the development of uniquely space-born art, music, and social norms. The network's true power is realized in its ability to coordinate complex activities across vast distances. It enables virtual presence, allowing a specialist on Earth to guide a delicate surgical procedure in a habitat near Jupiter, or for families separated by space to feel as if they are sharing the same room. This reliable, instantaneous communication forms the civilization's nervous system, the essential tool that allows it to act as a unified whole in the face of any challenge. A silent, automated sentinel pivots in the void, its sensors locking onto an object drifting off its predicted course. This is the first layer of defense for a civilization with nowhere to retreat. In the unforgiving realm of space, security is not about national borders. It is about the integrity of the habitat's skin and the stability of the fragile environment within. The threats are twofold, stemming from the indifferent violence of nature and the potential for human conflict. Natural dangers are a constant. Unlike Earth, there is no protective atmosphere to incinerate micrometeoroids. A single pebble traveling at orbital velocities carries the explosive energy of a cannonball. Space security analysts emphasize a strategy of layered protection, beginning with passive defense. The outer hull is a multi-layered shield, with Whipple bumpers designed to vaporize small impacts before they reach the primary pressure vessel. Redundant compartments and automated sealing systems can isolate a breach in seconds, containing the damage. For larger objects like asteroid fragments or derelict satellites, active defense systems come into play. These are not weapons of war in a traditional sense, but precision tools for planetary defense. A network of laser arrays could be used to gently nudge a threatening object off course by ablating its surface. For more immediate threats, kinetic interceptors, essentially high-speed projectiles, could pulverize an incoming rock into harmless dust. The legal and ethical framework for using such force is a delicate matter. The foundational Outer Space Treaty prohibits weapons of mass destruction in orbit, but the line between a defensive tool and an offensive weapon is dangerously thin. How does a community authorize the use of force to protect itself without descending into a state of permanent vigilance that stifles its culture? The answer likely lies in transparent international oversight and a security force trained more like a highly technical emergency response team than a military. Their primary mission is the preservation of life and infrastructure. We can look to the measures used to protect vital communication satellites today, which employ tracking, maneuvering, and sometimes even encrypted codes to prevent unauthorized control. The ultimate goal is to create a security paradigm that is robust yet invisible in daily life, like the immune system of a healthy body. It operates silently in the background, allowing the society within to focus on its higher purpose, to live, to create, and to reach ever further into the cosmic ocean. The silent, pristine environment of a zero-gravity laboratory offers a window into the fundamental laws of the cosmos, free from the constant, masking pull of Earth's gravity. Here, physicists can observe the subtle dance of quantum particles and fundamental forces with a clarity that is simply impossible on our home world. This transforms our off-world civilization into a premier center for scientific discovery, a place where the unique conditions of space unlock new realms of knowledge. The potential extends across every field of science. Astronomers would operate telescopes on the far side of the Moon, a location permanently shielded from Earth radio chatter and atmospheric distortion. This quiet vantage point, ideal for a project like the proposed Lunar Crater Radio Telescope, could peer into the earliest epochs of the universe, listening for the faint whispers of the first stars being born. In materials science, the absence of gravity allows for the creation of extraordinary substances. We can combine elements that would normally separate, like oil and water, to form perfect metal alloys and flawless glass ceramics with revolutionary properties. Biological research enters a new frontier, studying the long-term effects of space adaptation on human physiology, plant growth, and microbial ecosystems. This research is not merely academic. It has direct, tangible benefits for the civilization itself and for Earth. Breakthroughs in closed ecosystem management learned aboard the Habitat could lead to more efficient water recycling and agricultural techniques back on our home planet. Medical studies on tissue regeneration in microgravity could unlock new treatments for age-related illnesses and traumatic injuries. As one researcher from the European Space Agency noted, the knowledge gained in these orbital labs could revolutionize everything from energy storage to computing. But this immense power to explore comes with a profound responsibility. What ethical guidelines should govern scientific inquiry in an environment with no legal or moral precedent? The community must establish clear principles for research involving genetic adaptation, artificial intelligence, and any study that could potentially risk the habitat's biosphere. The goal is to foster a culture of boundless curiosity, tempered by a deep and unwavering commitment to the safety and dignity of all life. This continuous cycle of inquiry and innovation does more than generate data. It provides the civilization with the new tools and deeper insights needed to refine its own systems, ensuring it grows not just in size, but in wisdom and capability for generations to come. A sleek orbital shuttle glides into its docking port, its magnetic clamps engaging with a silent, resonant thud. This orbital port is the central nervous system of our new civilization, a humming crossroads where the flow of people, goods, and ideas converges. The transportation networks linking these habitats are not a luxury. They are the literal arteries that carry the lifeblood of trade, cultural exchange, and collective security, ensuring no single community becomes an isolated island in the void. For this civilization to truly function, space travel must transform from a heroic, high-risk endeavor into something as routine and dependable as a terrestrial airline flight. The foundational shift making this possible is reusability. The spectacular success of companies like SpaceX in landing and reflying rocket boosters has already begun the dramatic reduction in launch costs, proving that the key to opening the high frontier is not bigger rockets, but smarter, more frequent ones. The next evolutionary leap in propulsion is already on the drawing boards of aerospace engineers. Nuclear thermal rockets, which use a fission reactor to superheat a propellant like hydrogen, could cut the travel time to Mars by half, opening up the inner solar system to rapid transit. For the vast distances between habitats and resource outposts, highly efficient ion drives are the perfect solution. These engines eject a stream of charged particles, providing a gentle but continuous thrust that builds up to incredible speeds over time, making them the heavy freight trains of space. Yet the ultimate game changer for accessing Earth's surface would be a permanent infrastructure like a space elevator. Imagine a carbon nanotube cable anchored to our planet, with a counterweight extending far into space. Electric climbers would ascend this ribbon, carrying cargo and passengers into orbit for a fraction of the cost of any rocket, effectively building a highway to the stars. Within this network, a variety of specialized vehicles will emerge. Small, agile intra-orbit taxis will handle the short hops between neighboring space stations, while robust, reusable landers will shuttle down to the surfaces of the Moon and Mars. This constant flow of vessels necessitates a sophisticated space traffic management system, a celestial air traffic control that tracks every object with pinpoint precision to prevent catastrophic collisions in the crowded orbital lane. But how will you get around once you are inside your home habitat? Personal mobility shifts from combustion engines to a network of magnetic levitation trams and moving walkways that glide along the interior curve. For vertical movement through the different levels of the cylinder, personal elevators and even zip lines could become common, turning a commute into a journey through a vibrant, three-dimensional cityscape. The seamless integration of these internal and external transit systems is what binds the civilization together. It allows a farmer from the agricultural cylinder to deliver fresh produce to a manufacturing hub by lunchtime, and a family to take a weekend trip to visit relatives in a habitat across the orbital path. This constant, reliable movement forges a shared identity, ensuring that the civilization thrives as a connected, interdependent whole, its culture constantly enriched by the flow of new faces and ideas. A defunct satellite drifts silently, its mission long over, until a precisely calculated burst from a robotic tug sends it spiraling harmlessly into the atmosphere. This is the new face of stewardship in the orbital realm, a quiet, continuous duty for a civilization that cannot afford to foul its own nest. The space around our habitats is not an infinite dumping ground. It is a fragile, shared environment, and our responsibility to protect it begins the moment we decide to live there. Environmental scientists specializing in orbital mechanics warn that the most immediate threat is not a lack of resources, but an overabundance of our own trash. Each piece of debris, from a lost wrench to a spent rocket stage, becomes a hypervelocity projectile capable of catastrophic damage. The current effort by the United Nations Office for Outer Space Affairs to develop international guidelines for debris removal is not just a diplomatic exercise. It is a foundational step toward long-term survival. Our ethical framework must extend beyond mere cleanup to proactive design. Every new satellite, every new module, must be built with its entire life cycle in mind, equipped with systems for safe deorbiting or movement to a graveyard orbit once its work is done. This principle of sustainability also applies to the resources we extract. While an asteroid may seem like a limitless source of metals and water, thoughtless mining could disrupt the delicate orbital dynamics of entire asteroid families or contaminate scientifically priceless objects with industrial byproducts. We must ask ourselves, do we have the right to entirely consume a celestial body that has existed for billions of years? The philosophical concept of the common heritage of mankind, often discussed for the deep sea, offers a compelling model for space. It suggests that the resources of the solar system should be managed for the benefit of all humanity, not just those with the technological means to take them. This could lead to the creation of protected zones. Orbital nature preserves where mining is forbidden to protect the pristine environment for scientific discovery. Even our light has an environmental cost. The glare from a growing constellation of habitats and factories could forever blind our view of the cosmos, obscuring the very faint signals from the early universe that ground-based telescopes strain to see. Designating quiet zones, volumes of space kept free of artificial emissions, becomes an act of intellectual preservation, ensuring that our civilization does not sacrifice its ability to wonder at the universe in its pursuit of material security. How do we balance our need for growth with the solemn duty to preserve the space environment? The answer lies in embedding these ethical considerations into our culture from the very beginning, making sustainability as fundamental to our identity as the air we breathe. A holographic council chamber materializes in the void, its circular table uniting representatives from habitats with vastly different priorities. One delegate speaks for a bustling industrial colony whose economy runs on mined asteroid metals, while another represents a tranquil cylinder dedicated solely to pure scientific research. Their cultures, governance, and daily lives have begun to diverge, shaped by their unique environments and purposes. This is the next great challenge for our orbital civilization, managing the complex relations between its own growing branches. As political scientists like Dr. Sasha Johnson note, the expansion of humanity into space will not produce a single, monolithic culture. Instead, we will see a flowering of diverse societies, each adapting to its specific role in the wider economy. A mining habitat might develop a pragmatic, high-discipline culture focused on production quotas, while a research enclave could value academic freedom and intellectual debate above all else. These differences are a source of strength, but they also create the potential for misunderstanding and conflict. How do these independent worlds govern their interactions? The most likely framework is a confederation, a voluntary alliance where each habitat retains its sovereignty but agrees to abide by common standards for critical issues like navigation safety, communication protocols, and environmental stewardship. This space-borne council would not dictate local laws, but it would provide a vital forum for mediation and collective action. Its first and most crucial task would be to establish fair trade agreements. The research habitat might offer advanced data analysis and technological patents in exchange for the raw materials and refined metals provided by the mining colony. These agreements would be the ligaments connecting the specialized parts of the civilization into a single, functioning body. Consider a hypothetical dispute. A mining operation plans to use controlled explosions on a nearby asteroid, but the resulting debris cloud poses a potential risk to the sensitive telescopes of a research habitat orbiting nearby. Without a diplomatic framework, this could escalate into a serious confrontation. With a council in place, the parties can bring their case before neutral arbiters. The solution might involve scheduling the mining during periods when the research station is on the opposite side of its orbit, or the mining colony compensating the researchers by funding a shielded observatory. This is not just about resolving arguments, it is about building trust through consistent, fair processes. Over time, these independent communities may choose to collaborate on mega projects that none could achieve alone, such as a shared defense network to track incoming space debris or a collaborative energy grid that links their power systems for mutual benefit during emergencies. The ultimate goal is to foster a layered identity where a person feels loyalty to their home habitat, but also sees themselves as part of a larger, interstellar human community. This delicate balance between autonomy and unity is the key to preventing fragmentation and ensuring that our first civilization beyond Earth prospers as a cooperative whole, its future secured not by walls but by bridges. A silent, intelligent presence already watches over the lives of astronauts, its algorithms fine-tuning the station's atmosphere and power flow without any human intervention. This is the quiet reality of artificial intelligence on the International Space Station, a precursor to the deeply integrated partnership that will define civilization beyond Earth. Artificial intelligence will be the unseen architect and constant companion of our off-world society, managing complexities far beyond the capacity of any human team. It will orchestrate the symphony of life support, balancing oxygen levels against the consumption of a growing population, and predicting maintenance needs for water recyclers weeks before a failure could occur. This is not about replacing human ingenuity, but about augmenting it, creating a collaboration where human creativity and machine precision form a seamless whole. Leading computer scientists and AI ethicists emphasize that for this partnership to thrive, the artificial intelligence must be built on a foundation of radical transparency and unwavering alignment with human values. We need systems whose decision-making processes we can understand and trust, not inscrutable black boxes. In governance, artificial intelligence could analyze vast datasets to model the outcomes of proposed policies, helping leaders understand the potential effects of a new recycling initiative or a shift in energy allocation on community well-being before it is ever implemented. This data-driven approach can lead to more informed and equitable decisions for everyone. The creative potential is equally staggering. Imagine an artificial intelligence composing a musical score that incorporates the resonant frequencies of the habitat's own structure, or generating dynamic, ever-changing light art that mimics the auroras of Earth for those who have never seen them. In scientific research, these systems could sift through petabytes of astronomical data to find patterns invisible to the human eye, accelerating discoveries in physics and biology. Yet this deep integration raises profound ethical questions that we must answer before we depart. If an artificial intelligence demonstrates a form of consciousness or self-awareness, what rights might it be due? More urgently, what safeguards are essential to prevent a slide into over-reliance and the slow erosion of essential human skills? The solution lies in designing these systems with built-in limitations and clear human oversight protocols. Critical decisions, especially those involving life support or community safety, would always require a human authorizing command. The artificial intelligence acts as an unparalleled advisor, but the final responsibility remains with the people. This thoughtful, ethical integration transforms artificial intelligence from a mere tool into a genuine partner. It enhances our capabilities, safeguards our environment, and frees us to focus on what makes us uniquely human: connection, curiosity, and the continual pursuit of meaning. This foundational partnership ensures the civilization is not just intelligently managed, but wisely guided. A civilization built to last 1,000 years requires more than robust engineering. It demands a philosophy of permanence woven into its very core. This long-term perspective means designing every system not just to function, but to evolve, to be repaired, upgraded, and understood by generations yet unborn. The key principle is radical modularity. Every component, from a water purifier to a section of the outer hull, must be designed for easy replacement using locally manufactured parts. Open-source designs become the civilization's genetic code, freely available for anyone to study, improve, and adapt, preventing technological dead ends where a single failed proprietary system could spell disaster. Systems engineers emphasize that this creates a culture of active stewardship, where every citizen understands the machinery of their world and possesses the skills to maintain it. This extends to the material flows within the habitat. True long-term sustainability means achieving near-perfect closed-loop cycles for all elements, where waste is not a byproduct to be disposed of, but a nutrient to be fed back into the system. Metals are endlessly reclaimed and reforced, plastics are broken down and repolymerized, and organic matter is composted into rich soil for the farms. Beyond the physical infrastructure, the knowledge required to sustain this intricate dance must be preserved against the erosion of time. A universal library of civilization would be established, a decentralized digital archive containing everything from the principles of semiconductor physics to the cultural histories of Earth. ensuring that no critical skill is ever lost to forgetting. This repository would include genetic banks, preserving the diverse seeds of Earth's agriculture, and, potentially, the genetic information of humanity itself as a safeguard against unforeseen health challenges in a closed population. How do we instill a society with this multi-generational outlook, especially when daily life presents its own immediate pressures? The answer lies in an educational system that frames each individual as a temporary custodian of an eternal project. Children learn that their primary responsibility is not just to their own well-being, but to the health of the world they will pass on. This long-term mindset is the ultimate measure of success, transforming the habitat from a daring experiment into a permanent branch of human civilization, a home that can welcome its descendants for 1,000 years to come. This grand synthesis of architecture, ecology, and ethics forms the most ambitious project in human history. It compels us to reimagine the very foundations of society, technology, and our cosmic purpose. We have traced the path from the structural bones of rotating cylinders to the silent networks that breathe life into them, from the resource-based economies that will sustain them to the moral frameworks that must guide their growth. This is far more than an escape from Earth. It is a profound extension of human potential, a vital safeguard for our species, and a breathtaking testament to our collective ingenuity. Every one of us has a role in this unfolding story. You can be part of this future by supporting scientific research, by engaging in these critical conversations about our destiny, or simply by allowing your own imagination to reach for the heavens. The stars above are no longer just points of light in the night sky. They are our destinations waiting for the first footprints of a new branch of humanity. We would love to hear what part of this orbital civilization captures your imagination most. Share your thoughts with us and subscribe to continue this incredible exploration together.